Hello YouTube, my name is Jason and this is LineWare. Today I'm going to teach you about Enums. Enums is basically a class that consists of constants. And the way you would set that class up is you would come over here to your package explorer and then open up your default package or whatever you have it called as, and then create a new enum. And then just go ahead and give it whatever name you want. I've already created one. It's right here, enum tutorial. And then the next step you would have to do is create your constants. So let's go ahead and say, and just let you know, an example of constants is like north, south, east, west, things that can't change or be changed. They stay the same. And then there's stuff like the days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then like months in the year and stuff like that. Just things that cannot be changed. So let's go ahead and let's do stuff. And whenever you do enumeration, it's best to do it in capital letters. You can do it in lowercase letters, but if you're doing this to be professionally, do it in capital letters. So we're going to do January, March, and let's do December. So now we have 3 constants. And the next step we would need to do is we would need to create, let's go ahead and space these out just a little bit. The next step we would have to do is come in between this comma, because you change each one of these with a comma and you end the last one with a semicolon. So the next step would be to create some parameters for your enumeration. So we could say the first month, and then let's go ahead and give it a climate. So we're going to create a string and say cold. And we're going to do this for all 3 of them. So let's go ahead and just come over to the next one. This is the 3rd month, and this one is about, let's say, warm. And the last one, we'll go ahead and say 12th month, and we'll give this one the cold climate as well. And the reason it's getting errors because I haven't really used them yet. And the next step we're going to have to do is we need to create some variables. And the way we're going to do that is static final, and no, that's lowercase, static final, and we need a int. So we're going to do an int of, we're going to call this int month. Yeah, we're going to call it month, and then let's go ahead and end that one. The next one we're going to do static final string, and this is going to be climate. And we're going to go ahead and end that one. And I think I spelled climate wrong, but who cares? The next step is we got to create a constructor for it. So mine is called enum tutorial, and then I need to give it its parameters. And the parameters for this was, let's say, int mon. We're going to just call it mon because I want it to be simple and something lower. And the last one was a string, and we're going to call this in climb. And that's pretty much what we got to do. And if you notice, these right here have stopped. And the next thing we have to do is we need to assign month and climate. And month is going to equal to mon, and climate is going to equal to climb. And we can go ahead and put something like this dot month and this dot climb. Oh, I see what I did. I made these static and they're supposed to be private. Private. There we go. And private. So now we have all of our stuff ended. And basically whenever they create the object for this, they're going to have to send two parameters to it, which are already created right here. So that's the basics of that, what we would need to do. And the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to need to make some more methods. And we're going to call these public int, and because we're going to return the int type, and what we're going to do is we're going to return month and we're going to return climate. So let's go ahead and say, let's say set month and return month. And the next one we're going to return public string set climate, and we're going to return a string, and that string is going to be climate. Return climate, and end it with a semicolon, and that's basically what we're going to do. So let's go on to our beginner class where we don't have anything set up, and we're going to create a for each loop. And the way you do that is you set up your for each, and it has a semicolon, not a semicolon, but a colon in the middle of it. And the first thing you have to do with this is you have to set a value and to enum tutorial, and you can call, basically it's going to be the enum that we just created, and now we have to give it a name, so let's just call it name. And then you have to set an array that it's going to do. This is just a real shorthand way of throwing your arrays, the elements of your array. So the array we're going to be throwing is enum tutorial dot and values. We're going to come down here to values, because what the value method does is it throws an array of the enum. It's a preset static method inside of any enum that you ever create, and what it does is it makes an array of your constants. So that's basically what it does. And the next thing we need to do is we need to set a our what we're going to print on the screen. System.out.print. We're just going to print the first one, and what we're going to print is we're going to print name dot, and we're going to print, let's see, was it climate or month? We did month first, so we're going to print month out on the screen. Let's go ahead and throw some this is the month, and we need to put a little plus sign right here. Also, I'm going to put one more thing, system, and actually another thing, since this is going to be the middle one, we need to put a little space at the end of it. .out.print, and this time we're just going to print name, and let's go ahead and write something in here and say this is the name, this is the month number, so let's put month, number. And let's put that. And the next step we're going to do is another one, but we're going to make this in a print line because this is the last one we're doing. And let's add it, and we're going to do name dot, and we're going to set climate and say this is the climate. So these are basically the setup for it. So let's go ahead and print that out on the screen. And I'm going to scroll this up, and as you can see it says, whoa, I want to do one more thing just because I am very, very particular. And put a space right here, and let's go ahead and print it one more time. And it says this is the name, and it says January, and the first one we had, if you remember, it was January. And then that's what this line did, because all we did was call name, and all it did was call the constant's name in the array that we created for right here. And each one of these that it passes through, it adds that to the array name. So just in case you wanted to know, it was creating an array called name out of the elements from the Enum tutorial. And it added that first name to name, which was January. So this is the name, January, and then this is the month number, which was 1. And because we had the set month, and when we called it, it returned month. So it said the first month, and then it says this is the climate and it's cold, which this basically did the same thing, but it called the set climate that we had put in place. And that's pretty much everything for enum that we're going to go over in this tutorial. The next tutorials we're going to be going over are, I believe I said I was going to go over annotations next. But that's all for this tutorial. Thank you for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and have a